Welcome to Rad Round Show. I'm your host, Rad Round, the poster child for ADHD. And the vibe for today's episode is heavy. Why heavy? Because we're talking about a subject that is near and dear to my heart and many others. That subject is music. Most particularly, the music industry. What it was, what it is, what it's going to be. Let's get into it, everybody. Welcome to the Rad Randall Show. Let's go. Like all industries these days, the music industry has changed completely. The barrier to entry is so low, you need a microphone, some auto-tune tools, and a computer, and you could be the next big star. Which I'm not sure if I love it or I hate it. I kind of think it's a little bit of both. Let me explain. Because it's so easy to get into the music industry these days, you skip the middleman, which is the record label. People used to work their whole lives and do anything they could to get an interview or get seen by these record companies. That doesn't even exist anymore. It's not even necessary. So, what's the good thing about that? That means hidden talent that couldn't make it to those record executives can sneak up by other means with the internet and bypass that completely, which is kind of awesome. But the issue with that, the negative aspect is, when I say the barrier to entry is easy, it's easy for everybody, which means some people who don't have any talent, like me, who think they are very talented, like me, tend to try to get their stuff out there the same way. And man, you can get some train wrecks out there. So, good, bad, I don't know. But I think it's mostly good because it changes a lot of dynamics. First of all, those record companies were in business for one reason. They sign you to those contracts because they're going to give just a little bit cheddar up front. Say, hey, here's a little allowance for you. We're going to take care of your concerts. We're going to take care of your promotions. We're going to take care of all that stuff. We're going to get you a manager, get you all booked into all your different venues. And you just sign here on this little dotted line down here. And you're also going to give us 98% of everything you earn for the next 15, 20 years. Or in some cases, everything you ever do with your name on it. So that's gone now, which is a very good thing. Let's keep going. So let's talk about how it used to be back in the day. We were an artist coming up. Like the last example I can think of, I'm not saying that these artists don't exist anymore. I'm sure they do, especially in like country music. But the last artist I know, one of my favorite bands is 21 Pilots. They were, well, Tyler specifically did a bunch of little high school bands, and then he would put on these little concerts in like the lunchrooms and like the VA halls and all these things. He'd mix his own music. He'd perform for his friends. He created a small fan base following that got bigger and bigger. And lo and behold, eventually you do good enough, you do well, and you get to go on tour and you get to open for other bands. That's basically how it was. When you were older, you'd get, back in like my dad's day, they used to play at little bars and whatever they could just to get their name out any way they could. Same type of thing. But now, you don't have to do that at all. At the end of the day, you do those little concerts, you grow your little fan base, you'd work hard, you open up for anybody you can, you don't get paid anything, or if you do, it's very little. And one day, you get enough exposure that you can get in front of a record executive, and maybe he'll sign you to a label. That was how it went back then. It's a little bit different now. So, example I was watching, there was an artist named Neo. He had a reel that I was watching of an interview, where he was talking about how pissed off he is at the music industry today because when he was coming up, he had to work his booty cheeks off. You had to keep your pitch, you had to get your timing perfectly, and you had to sync it to your dance moves. You had to keep all that stuff and remember your dance moves. You had to keep all that stuff working as a well-oiled machine, and he'd practice and practice and practice and practice till he got it right. Nowadays, it's just not that hard to come up. Now we have auto-tune and all these things like, let me show you a few examples. Some recent artists that come up through their own independence, determination, and talent being loosely, I mean that loosely, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. It's more like not so much talent in the way of singing necessarily, but tech savvy tools that they can create their own sound with auto-tune and many other tools in their bedrooms, and then they can stream it on or put it on TikTok, SoundCloud, and lo and behold, if your little mix is a hit, it'll take off, and before you know it, you wake up in the morning and 9 million people have listened to your song or downloaded it, and boom, bada bing, you're the next big thing. So some artists that I can think of, for example, are like Joey Valance and Brea, I can't remember, Connor Price, Bonos, I guess his name is BBNO, and then a $, and Post Malone is probably being the biggest breakout closet artist of all time. Now, there are several more other than that. I've just named a few that were off the top of my head. Not to say that none of those guys aren't talented. I believe they absolutely are. Actually, those particular ones I looked up a little bit. Not Connor Price too much or Bonos, but like Joey Valance and Brea, and of course Post Malone. We all know that Post Malone is absolutely talented in every way, and he can sing like every genre of music, and he's amazing, and I'm a huge fan. Absolutely. But that's how he got to start. Just did whatever he could, made his White Iverson, I think, was his first hit. So, that being said, what is the future of the music industry? Well, I'm a YouTuber, lowercase y. AI. So we're going to go into AI tools, obviously. So that's the future of everything. AI tools, in my opinion, for YouTube has helped dramatically. All these ahs and uhs and buts that you hear and the long pauses in between, AI will take all that stuff out of your edits for you. They will also can translate your videos into hundreds of languages in your voice, of all things. It's amazing. So to me, I think for YouTubers, it's an absolute benefit. For music artists, maybe not so much. So I have heard these music generators, these AI music generators, where you type in give them a subject matter. This is a pin. So what's an example? Let's say, so sing a song about a pin that belonged to Garth Brooks, and it's his favorite pin, and do it in the style of Kendrick Lamar with a Frank Sinatra twist. And I tell you what, it'll absolutely do it, and it'll do it well, better than any human can come up with, and it'll actually be catchy most of the time and hilarious. It's amazing what they can do. So in the music industry, it's hard to tell, but I just don't see humans going away from seeing an actual person in concert. They're not going to want to see a robot acting, an AI robot trying to sing these songs and performing. They may do that once or twice, but in the heart of it, they want to see another human on stage so that they can love their favorite artists. I think it'll benefit the music industry too. They'll find ways to use the tools to make it better, so you can still get your stuff out there, still be famous and talented and get all your money. They're going to work it out. as long as it's in the right hands, AI will be a great benefit to all of humanity if we do it right. If you guys don't agree with me, please write in the comments. I'd be happy to read them and even do another episode on music industry and things relative to it, or even AI in general if you want. And I'll just do a whole episode on it if you want me to bring it up and check it out, especially if you have any agreements or disagreements. I'd love to hear from you. So that being said, everybody, life is going to be okay. It's a little wild, a little crazy, but we're all going to make it. We're all human. Love conquers all. And see you on the next one, everybody. Peace. I'm out of here.